Okay, did you want to state your name, etc.?
Sure. Jade Anstey, student number A00105133.
And I'm Holly Gavin, student number A00108283. The date is Thursday the 13th of April and the time is 12:46 p.m. Okay. Would you like me to ask the questions first?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Okay, so we have, tell me about your social identity.
I guess what makes up my social identity, I'm 19, I'm a female, I live on the northern beaches of Sydney and have my whole life. I've just finished school, end of 2021, and now I'm studying a Bachelor of Business at Torrens University. I danced when I was growing up and did a lot of sport. But I stopped that at the end of school to kind of focus on what I wanted to do after. Took quite a little bit of figuring out to do. Definitely took a bit of time to see what I was interested in. But probably besides studying, I really am interested in travelling the world, and I planned a Europe trip this year to see the world more. I love photography and fashion and things of that nature, so I definitely keep up to date with that kind of thing. I'm a youngest child with two older brothers, and I'm married. Mum and dad. But as far back as I know in my family, we're all from Australia, and that's kind of the culture that we keep in our family as well. Yeah.
Awesome. And what are you most proud of having achieved in your life?
I can't say very much career-wise so far because I'm really just starting to study, but probably getting through year 12 because the year that I did, it was very rough with COVID, restricting heaps of online school, and the motivation was very low to continue studying and do the HSC, and the deadlines were kind of all up in the air. There was a lot of uncertainty. So to get through and get the mark that I wanted was definitely a big achievement and took a lot of willpower not to just sit on the couch at home when no one was really keeping you accountable.
Yeah, of course. And what obstacles have you had to face?
I probably would say the hardest was probably mental health in the past year or two. I've dealt with a lot of anxiety-related stress. I guess in high school there was a little bit of that, but probably out of school, especially having gone through COVID for the past year, I was feeling very lost, and I tried different universities, but nothing really stuck or seemed to be what I was actually interested in. So definitely overcoming that was hard and took a bit of work, but I'm happy to be in a place now where I actually like what I'm doing and at a university that offers a lot of support and can get back into a routine that suits my lifestyle as well.
Yep. And let's talk about your professional identity. So what industry do you hope to work in?
So I really would like to go into event management. I don't have that much experience in it yet, but I am doing a lot of volunteering to kind of figure out which sector of the industry that I'd like, because obviously there's fashion or festivals or corporate and weddings and things like that. So there's heaps of different things that I want to try. And I guess you can be an event manager of different sorts of events as well. But I'd really like to go into that and see what it's all about. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And just finally, what should your future employer know about the skills you have and their story to help build a diversity and inclusive workplace or industry in this VUCA world?
Well, I'd say that one of my personal values is empathy and kind of being able to see different perspectives and be really understanding of how different people have different opinions and come from different places, which I think would be really helpful in the events industry because cultural sensitivity is such a big issue with hosting different celebrations, whether they're cultural or not, and being really respectful to different people's how they celebrate and how they like to host events and gather together. So I think that creating an inclusive environment in that industry would require a lot of empathy and listening to other people and going forward with their ideas rather than just feeling like closed off or not, like with job selection and things like that, and working in a team and only taking clients of certain cultures and things like that. I think I'd really want to strive towards bring everyone together with their differences rather than just focusing on certain things in the industry that have been done before or traditional and that sort.
Excellent.
So now we can move on to yours. Did you want to tell me about your social identity?
Yeah, so I'm a 27-year-old female who's originally from rural Australia. So I'd be a mature age student here at Torrens University. I'm obviously now living in Sydney so that I can pursue my dream of studying and going into a new career, but I'm a horse rider and artist in my spare time, obviously coming from the country. I played a lot of polo growing up and quite recently, and I'm a big lover of sports. No, I don't really mind what sport it is. I keep up with all the local teams here in Sydney, especially with the rugby, and yeah, just I suppose anything sport related I hope to be involved in.
Nice. Do you have much in the way of cultural background? Like, are you purely Australian, or do you have more cultural heritage in your family?
So my father's side of the family are Irish. However, a few generations ago, but my mother and her family originate from South Africa. So we have family still over there. It's still a big part of our lives. I myself can't speak Afrikaans, but a few of my cousins and grandparents can, which is, I kind of wish I had learnt it because they do have their private little conversations every now and then. But no, it's actually quite a difficult language to learn.
Nice. What are you most proud of having achieved in your life?
So I've been in the filming industry for a while. I am a videographer by trade. So I'm actually most proud for achieving live streaming and filming a polo tournament that lasted over 9 days. All on my own. So this was from filming the games, and I would have to live stream them live, and then later that night I would have to edit and put these together. So a couple of hours after the game, the clients or the teams, the polo players, would be wanting footage of their games to watch before the game the next day. And out of all of my smaller achievements, this one is the one I'm the most proud of, as I managed to successfully film and edit these, under a very time-sensitive, it was a very time-sensitive project, so managing to do that, I'm, extremely proud of myself.
Yeah, wow. What obstacles did you have to face?
So I suppose in my workplace, I've come across obstacles all the time, whether it's from demanding clients, time-sensitive projects, where you may start running behind, and obviously your clients are, always on to you about needing to get these things done. But I suppose the biggest obstacle I've faced recently is being made redundant from my previous media role. In a small company that just, as things happen, wasn't going as well as they'd hoped they would, and had to let go a few of their employers. Unfortunately, I was one of those. So I've had to obviously overcome, mental doubt and, having to pay rent in a big city like Sydney, and having to obviously go on and find my next thing. So it's been a very, very tiresome journey to try and get to where I am now. because when you're made redundant, it plays a lot on your mind, thinking maybe you weren't good enough for the role. So it takes a lot to bring yourself back up.
Yeah, right. Do you aim to stay in the same industry that you currently work in?
So no, after being in the media industry for about 7 years now, I've come to learn that it's very seasonal, and I hope to change over, and I'm now hoping to study accounting. So something that I do still have interest in, but something that's a little bit more stable than just a videographer.
Yeah. What should your future employer know about the skills you have and their story to help build a diverse and inclusive workplace or industry in the VUCA world?
So with the amount of time-sensitive projects that I've worked on, a lot of stress comes under employees. So, you know, I have managed to develop skills where I can read how people are handling themselves in these situations, and the stress level that they're experiencing. And you can, by identifying this, you're able to help relieve it and divvy out the workloads onto other employees and just help balance your fellow employees' work loads and experiences, and just help out throughout the industry, especially having worked in smaller industries with only a team around 8, I think is the largest I've worked in. So it's always been very inclusive, and it's just been one of those one of those things where I can help others enjoy their role as much as I can, I suppose.
Yeah, nice.